Hello, everyone. Sorry, I was on the phone having a discussion about this live. What's going on, DeSantos, House of Lamar? The usual people that we got in the building. I hope that Andre loves crossing borders. Yes, she is watching. Yes, she is though. No, I did not get arrested. No, no. Now, this is first of all, let me talk to myself. This is what I asked for. This is what I asked for. Uh, I asked for the chance to, I've always my entire life wanted to be a controversial figure. I have always wanted to be a controversial figure. Now, surprisingly, what's surprising is I don't know if you guys remember around the first, I said, you know what? It's a new year. This year, I'm going to tone down. I'm not going to talk as much shit about American women when American women are really the problem in this situation. They said no audio. Y'all can hear me, right? Let me know if y'all can hear me because somebody said there's no audio. Okay, y'all can hear me. So I said I'm not gonna talk shit about American women, and I did slow down on that. Right now, what was my? I appreciate all the support. I love y'all so much. But what was my goal now with the interviews, with the the interviews, the stuff that I'm doing now? My point was okay, let's stop talking about American women. Let's stop bashing American women. I understand. I got to get this off my back because this is the first time I went viral before, but that video that just went viral, that video, like within like 16 hours, 17 hours, had 2.3 million views on Twitter. Now, the point of the interviews, most of you guys haven't been to Brazil. My views were going down, and I realized I wasn't showing enough of the women. They said, "Why did you delete the tweet?" Believe it or not, I've been getting so many locations. My phone was overheating from vibrating. So, like literally, my phone has rang 700 to 1,000 times today with notifications. Uh, yeah. Uploading the. I think I already put the Portuguese captions on that video. I should re-upload it with it in the video, so that way there is no I didn't see it. But if they really want to know what I said, they'll translate it. But hey, whatever. Anyway, the point of the interviews was to show men that hey, let's ask some of these women some questions and compare them to what you would have heard in the States. So the first one we came out there where I was walking around doing an interview. Well, the first one was, where do you want to go for your first date? To the beach, the restaurant, or a bar? Where do you want to go? None of the Brazilian women had any problems answering that question. If they didn't answer the question, it's because they didn't want to be on camera. And if they didn't want to be on camera, they weren't in the video. It's that simple. So there's some people saying, some Brazilians saying, you broke the law, Austin. They did not allow you to use their image. They did not allow me to use their image, even though I said, hey, I'm Austin. I have a YouTube channel. I have one question to ask you. It's only going to take me 10 seconds. Pulled out the camera. They look dead into the camera. If you see, there are some videos where, and I kept this up to show people that uh but I don't even talk about feminism in Brazil. Listen, hold on, let me give me a minute. But I pulled up the camera and I still showed some people are walking away and saying, no, I don't want to do it. To show people that, hey, when these people tell me no, I stop. I'm not forcing anybody, I don't record them anyway. But okay. These women are looking in the camera, answering the questions. Sometimes what their answer might be interesting. So I'll ask them another question as opposed to, some people might say, oh, well, I want to go here. And I'd be like, oh, so why do you say that? So so I'm like, okay, they're looking at the camera, they're going back and forth. And I'm like, okay, I didn't think that that was a crime. That the fact that even the women that came over to my house and did the interviews, they sat on my couch, answered questions for 45, 50 minutes, looked in the camera, put a microphone on their chest. They gave me permission. That is all the permission. Why didn't they get up and walk out? I didn't know. I wasn't holding them down. And you know what I thought about this, right? I said this would be this would only be the problem with me doing content in Brazil, right? Is yeah, I probably should do express consent from now on, but yeah, I guess I should record when I'm asking them, and if they say yes, continue. If they say no, delete it. But anyway, where was I at? I mean, I tell everybody it's going to be on YouTube. I tell them, hey, I got a channel. I'm doing research on Brazilian culture, which is the truth, and other countries. And I want to ask you a question because I tell people I'm comparing cultures, and people are saying do different topics. What is wrong with asking somebody where do you want to go for the first date? Is that a sensitive topic? You can ask a middle schooler that. So I don't think that's a sensitive topic. The second one, do you like a good man that's nice to you? I think there was, or a uh, criminal, but he has good sex. Which one would you? I'm not apologizing. I'm elaborating for the people that like to. Let me tell you something that my mama told me too. Before the sunshine, there's a storm. Whenever a blessing is coming, the devil tries to deter you. Now, what blessing did I get out of this viral video? I went viral. I gained 800, 900 followers today. And it's not even full 24 hours. That's not a lie. But I still went viral. And Rilla told me that I shouldn't deleted it. I mean, I shouldn't have deleted it, but uh maybe it's because I'm in another country. If I was in the United States, I wouldn't care. But I'm like, damn, I'm in another country. And but yeah. Now, what was that? Do you want the criminal or the good guy? I think that's a decent question. I mean, everybody that I asked thought it was funny. Nobody had a problem answering the question. I had to turn my Twitter notifications off. I deleted it just because it was like, damn. Yeah, it's a safety thing because you don't know these feminists. You don't know what they'll do. Because right now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to place a false narrative on me, but I'm about to get to that. Well, the third video I did today, I haven't even uploaded. I was about to upload it. The third video was do you need a man for protection? And I asked the women, do you need a man for protection? Almost all of them said no right off the bat, right? And I'm like, so what if somebody, what if I say, could you fight a man? And they're like, no. I was like, so do you expect your boyfriend or husband to fight for you? Yeah. I said, so you need a man. And I just did that to I don't know, so you guys can know about Brazil. It's questions. It's good questions. You guys want to learn about Brazilian women? Put it up there. Now, okay, I'll look at it. Are they trying to Andrew Tate me? No. But what they're trying, the false narrative that they're trying to pin on me, the only thing I'm really worried about. I'm not worried about, oh, you're a misogynist. There's nothing misogynistic about asking a woman uh, where she wants to go on her first date, or would she like this type of guy, that guy, or does she, because I'm not, the thing is, when I'm doing these interviews, I'm not really giving my own input. I'm just asking. And yes, they are trying to intimidate me. But here's the thing. Who cares, right? Because it's too far. I'm too deep in. Let's say, oh, Austin wants to go out like a chicken and delete his YouTube and delete his Twitter and fly back to the United States or fly to another country and start over and shaking his boots. Okay, in that case, they would win. But let's say I stay in Brazil and I deleted all my social media. The people, my face, the videos have been downloaded, screenshotted. They know who I am. So why am I doing this live today? Because the most important accusation that they're trying to put on me, which is really only one accusation besides them just talking bad, is sex tourism. Okay? Never have I ever promoted sex tourism. And I'm gonna let y'all know this. After this live goes down, I'm gonna post the next interview that I did today. I knew what I was getting into when I signed up for it. This is this is what Kevin said. Not Kevin Samuels, Candace Owens. I'm pretty sure she's had a situation like this. Andrew Tate, fresh and fit people like that, and politicians. All I can do is continue to make my content, live my life, and yeah. He said you're done. So let me ban you for saying the negative shit. Now, nobody would care. And you know what? It's mainly because it wasn't a black woman, because it went more viral in the United States than it did here. Like if you would have looked through the comments at the time, the yeah, it came out of nowhere. And what was that? Damn. But oh yeah, if she wasn't black, if she was black, it wouldn't even have went that viral in the United States. Okay, but it did because she wasn't black, and there was a lot of black men and black women calling me lame. And so I'm walking around the city thinking, that, because I'm used to seeing that. Oh, you're a lame, this and that. So I'm like, oh, they're just talking shit. And then I started seeing Brazilians, and I'm like, oh, I already know they're gonna misinterpret what I'm saying, but they've been doing that. But I'm like, okay. Then an influencer. We're gonna pull this up on the screen. Somewhat big time Brazilian influencer posted my photo. Not even my photo. Okay, look, I don't need to hear be careful anymore. I know that's coming from a genuine place, more than likely. I appreciate it. But I trust me, I know that. Thank you, though. It's not nothing personal. It's just because I got 70, 80 of y'all saying be careful at the same time. Okay, so Rilla says I'm giving her too much clout. Okay. Anyway, she has a following that is big enough to, you know, have something, some sort of effect. And the post says, I'm just gonna read it. I'm not gonna show it because I don't. I mean, I'm listening to Rilla right now because yeah, but I don't mind putting it up. But if you guys say not to, whatever. She posted it twice actually, so she's trying to get some shit. Trying to get me hated. The American Austin Holloman on his Twitter and his profile on YouTube has been creating a series of contents creating encouraging other Americans to come to Brazil to get closer to Brazilian women like himself has been doing. True. That is true. Not just Brazil, but all comments. Who moderators, if somebody named London is saying something crazy, yeah, ban her. Now, that is true. I'm gonna clarify this right now. That is very true. Austin Holloman, I am influencing the world, but mainly America, to come to Brazil, not to deal with prostitutes. And if you've watched my videos, I've said that in many videos. I've said we cannot complain about American women and then come deal with prostitutes. No, we complain about American women and we come deal with regular women in Brazil. That's what I do. I don't pay. I'm not out here just buying sex. Okay? Why do you need to do that in Brazil? My personality was made for Brazil. The way how the women move here is like a magnet with me. She also says in his videos, he asks Brazilian women questions of sexual and affective nature, one of which, and I see Brazilian men do this too. One of which he asks which penis size she likes. And yes, I did ask that once or twice in the interview because, again, I am comparing. And when I asked the chick what kind of car does he need to drive to talk to you, and she's like, "What?" I said, "In the United States, this is a thing." That's my point, is to compare. I've said this, but I know Rilla told me not to do this, but I'm going to, okay, I got to unsubscribe. Okay, if you're going to unsubscribe, just go ahead and let me ban you so you can't even comment again. Now, that was to compare. That's not to push up on anybody. That's not, no. Now, he goes, let me see. All this to conclude by saying that we are easier than other women. He goes so far as to say, get your passports. And yes, you know why I say get your passports? Because you need a passport to get to Brazil. That's why. Okay. Let me speed through this. A clear incentive for American men to come to the country with sexual intent. We know that sex tourism is a big problem in Brazil and shouldn't be encouraged in any way. But what can we make of this series of absurd videos and comments by American men? A follower of Austin goes so far as to say that Brazilian girls are for sale. We are not. This approach is incorrect. And you know what, ma'am? I will agree with you. Because the comment on the post that she left the man Joey BK, he's so Brooklyn, I think that is, says something that Austin has never said and never will say. I'm banning you too. I mean, the thing is, I'm not even talking to American women right now, but the fact that y'all are coming here talking crazy, you're just gonna get banned. He says, and I did not say this. I did not say this. He says, most women in Brazil are for sale. And I quote, he says that. It's just facts. He says that. Prostitution is a way of life down there, same as Colombia and the DR. Now, I've never been to the DR, but I've been to Colombia. First of all, I can't control what anybody says. Okay. That's like somebody getting mad at the president because one citizen says something crazy and thinks, oh, well, he's in your country. You must be crazy too. No. Brazil and Colombia, the majority of the women are not prostitutes. And I've said that. I've said that. Because there's dudes, whenever I post, like, oh, look at how many women come to the club in Brazil. Look at how much of a better environment you're in. And there's dudes in the comments like, oh, they're all prostitutes. That's not me saying that. That's not me saying that. And I would, if you've ever heard me say, if you've ever heard me say that all the women in Brazil are prostitutes, let's ban you too. At this point, anybody that's disagreeing, ban them, because at this point they're all on the other side. So my Twitter's suspended. Let me see. But if anybody has I'm still logged into my Twitter, so it's not suspended. Yeah, this is the last time I'm gonna address this. But if anybody has ever heard me say that all the women in Brazil are prostitutes, please point me to the video. What you have heard me say is I've seen more here. I mean, I've seen more in other countries as opposed to here. You've also heard me say that Brazil is just like the United States. It's just the economy is not as good, but it's just as diverse. People have regular jobs. Women can go to school. You've never heard, and like he said right here, when have you ever seen me down talk Brazilian women at all? But this is a problem that comes with. This is a problem that comes with people not speaking the same language, right? So they can pretty much this is actually why they're doing that, because they can say, oh well, I know the majority of these people in this country don't know English, so let me just put some shit here, and everybody that, because most people can't think for themselves anyway, so they're like, oh, I'm gonna drop the link for Rilla, but let me finish this first. Most people can't think for themselves, but I'm just gonna put this out there, and they're just gonna run with it because they don't know what the hell the English says anyway. That's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do. Now, I love controversy. I love talking. I love the debate. But false accusations, I've never put that on anybody, and they're definitely trying to do that with me. And I did reply directly to her. She won't reply back. And appreciate that super chat. I did reply to her directly. I did email her and I DM'd her. Hey, I feel like you're spreading misinformation about my videos. I would like to speak publicly, which means that I'm going to make my face more visible to the Brazilians. But hey, I don't need that on my back that, hey, Austin's a sex tourist. No. But this is what comes with what I do. Whatever. It is what it is. And then there was a photo. There was a video that I think that was 2 days ago, where I was asking them, where you want to go for the first date? I took that and I made clips. One clip was a chick saying, a little white girl, she says, I would like to go to the beach. I reposted it on Twitter. I was like, does anybody want to take her on a date? This date would only cost $10 to $20 because what am I doing? I'm comparing as an American. You're used to paying $200-300 and getting a side hug, or you can be next to a beautiful Brazilian woman that's gonna talk to you nice and do everything that you would love and be easy to talk to, as opposed to stressing you out with a high blood pressure. And you can do it for a fifth of the price. So that, but again, she knows that her followers don't speak the same language. So she knows her followers speak the same language. So what she's doing is she's tricking her people into thinking what she wants them to think. She's lying, and we know that. But the Brazilians don't know that. If they, I have Brazilians in my comments all the time that comment. Anyway, I had the video that said that went viral. That said no sexually frustrated men in Brazil. By that, why did I put that title? I put that title because I'm saying here in Brazil, women understand men, and what they don't do is withhold sex from you. So I'm saying, hey, the United States, block her too. In the United States, men are used to being in sexless marriages, but here in Brazil, you would have a woman that loves you and that understands that. I don't get where sex tourism comes in. I say get your passports because you need to get a passport to get to Brazil. That's what it takes. I don't know if Brazilians can just fly into the United States without a passport, but that's why I said that. We appreciate that super chat. Trey D, appreciate that super chat as well. Ban you too. Ban anybody that's disagreeing right now. Because I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. The title of this video says Brazilian women will kiss you in seconds. That's true. And she said that. But I get it. I get it. They want to start stuff. There's another video that says, are women in Brazil just easy? I didn't say they were easy, but that was just the title of the video because that's what the topic was about. But yeah, I've never, any Brazilian woman that's actually met me in person can never say that I disrespected them or let me see. I gotta quit reading the comments. Like, see, yeah, they're saying respect the Brazilian women. But again, more than likely they don't speak English. And that's why they're saying stuff like that, because they don't even speak English. They don't even speak English. But hey, now that we do know the fit, I told y'all Brazil is not a perfect country. As far as I didn't say you wouldn't deal with some of the same issues, but they the feminists are down here too. Even though that you promote the women down here, for some reason the feminists don't like that either. Okay, I just gave you a wrench. Now, and that's another thing. Do Brazilian women, I mean, do sex tourists speak the local language? Are they learning? Do they open bank accounts? Do they get a lease? You know, sex tourists, from what I understood, they're tourists. I'm not trying to leave Brazil. That's not a tourist. But yeah, so Rilla said he wants to get. I'm super hungry right now. I haven't eaten in a few hours. That I've been editing. Also, my brother, keep doing what you're doing. Just got back from Cali and Guadalupe, Colombia. Had a ball. Can't please everyone. Appreciate that super chat. And you're right. You can't please everyone. You can't. I appreciate that. It's also funny that she would take you out of context, but you said nothing about young women that you said nothing about the young women that did say they wanted criminals. That's a far more pressing issue, in my opinion. And I didn't. I didn't give really any bias commentary over it. I just said, hey, is what they said. And I probably said, I don't think that's true, but I say what it doesn't matter. But anyway, you guys really wants to jump on the panel. If you want to donate to the Cash App, I'm leaving the Cash App down here. I'm over here in another country. They trying to report me to the embassy and all that. I'm doing all that. So if you guys want to drop me a donation for being the brave, I'm gonna pin it to the top of the comments for being the brave man that I am right now. I would gladly appreciate that. I would gladly appreciate that because I am being brave right now. But I shouldn't have deleted the tweet. I shouldn't have. I mean, I should have and I should have. Okay. And yeah, I am doing Brazil a favor. I am. I'm good for tourism. I'm good for tourism. I don't promote prostitution. I promote men. What do I tell y'all? I dropped the link. I promote men being like me. That's why I am the example that I set. I'm charismatic. I'm in shape. If you follow my Twitter and my Instagram, you see me looking sexy as hell today after the gym, and I posted a picture. I brush my teeth. I keep my hair cut. I do everything. And I tell y'all to do that same thing because why? Because Brazilian women appreciate that. I told me and Fred, we just did a video last week where we were talking about why you guys are losing there. We told you guys that women down here, these aren't women that just go for anybody. And I've said that and I proved that. You have to improve yourself. All I say is when you come to Brazil, you get a better result. And that's why I'm here. But hey, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm not disrespecting nobody in Brazil. Now, if the United States if the feminists in the United States want to talk shit about me, fine. That they got every right because I have talked bad about U.S. women. I said they stunk and all that. So yeah, they can talk bad about me. But Brazilian women, no, this is shocking. But yeah, the panel is open. I dropped my Cash App. If you guys want to donate, I would I would appreciate that. What's going on?
Yo, what's good, man? How you doing?
Good. It sounds like your mic is very sensitive right now.
Is it too loud or too?
Too loud.
All right, let me turn it down. Is that good?
Yeah, it's good now.
All right. What's good, chat gang, man? It's been a while, months. Yeah, man. You know, we spoke about this, man, but what's really doing my head in right now, man, and you know, there's some feedback that other people are leaving in the channel that I kind of agree with. You know, there is some good feedback we'll talk about. You know, but I brought it up earlier. You know, you need to get to a place where you putting these people in their place and stand in your ground on something. You know, when these feminists are going to try to claim sex tourism and all that shit, bro, when the literal definition is, you know, people who travel to other countries, you know, and exchanging money and lifestyle favors for sex, and you're not paying money or giving lifestyle favors for sex, then nothing you're doing can be considered sex tourism. So fuck their opinion and what they think, and I would actually be shooting back at them for that, because what they did in that video, you know, with that video is this innocent Brazilian woman who's just answering your questions, answered some questions, and now we got angry Brazilian feminists who are insinuating by even bringing up sex tourism and stating that this is sex tourism, that that woman is a prostitute by definition.
And that's what they're trying to claim her as a prostitute. And if you watch the video, the woman followed us from the restaurant. She wanted to ask more questions. She followed us from the restaurant to the beach, sat with us, drank a drink with us, and continued to answer questions.
Right. So the simple fact that they want to claim that as sex tourism, it's just bullshit shaming language, right? And there needs to be a movement of men who pushes back on that bullshit, right? Because it's not a problem when those women go to other foreign countries and date men from other foreign countries. And it's not a problem when foreigners come to the US and date American women, but somehow foreign men going abroad and talking to foreign women, it's somehow an issue and sex tourism. Is bullshit. Fuck that. I don't want to hear that shit no more. You know, I go back into your comments and I'm shooting shots all over the place with these women and putting them in their place. Somebody's got to put these women in their place, because nobody's shooting back with just pure straight up logic and giving them definitions and being like, what the heck are you talking about? What you're saying is ludicrous. You know, I think they're more offended at the fact of the way that your questions were poised. And somebody said, you know, maybe you shouldn't, you know, just ask questions or whatnot. My feedback is going to be, you know, give context before you ask the questions you do, right? Like if you're going to ask, you know, what was one of the questions that they got offended by or whatever?
What how soon would you kiss me or go home with me?
Give the context as to why you're asking that question prior. You know, back west in America, women do X, Y, and Z, you know, so I have this question to ask you and here's why. You know what I mean? So that way, when a viewer and these fucking feminists are asking these questions, they can't take that out of context at all, because you gave the context up front. You know what I mean? So when you ask them, you know, would you prefer criminal, or would you prefer, you know, a guy who's working a good job? You give the context and say, you know, women back home in the US have this delusional mindset for some reason. I don't know why, but for some reason they prefer bad boys over men who are working hard and trying to earn an honest living. So I'm curious, what do you think about Brazilian women? Do they prefer criminals or, you know, guys who work a 9 to 5? And how much money does a guy need to make to be in a relationship or to date you? You know, when you give that context, then I think that's when you avoid, you know, this fucking bullshit beehive mentality where they get triggered and try to cancel you because they can't say anything about it. You gave context. They could be mad. They could be like, you know, they could be like, oh, what you're saying is bullshit, or women aren't like that, but they're not going to try to say, oh, that's sex tourism, because, you know, the way that they took it out of context was just that, you know, because, and I think it's mainly because of the language barrier or whatnot, and you having to ask direct questions and not being able to be as wordy, you know, that they even got to that conclusion.
Now, there's some people in the comments saying that, oh, I don't think you should be asking those questions. And I think I agree with what you said. Maybe, okay, the video I'm about to post after this live goes down, I'm gonna record something really quick and put some context on why did I ask Brazilian? Why did I ask Brazilian? Why do I you know, why do they
I think
not, if they need a man's protection, because that's the next thing.
And right. I don't even necessarily think you need to justify that for the previous content, but do it moving forward. Okay. You know, good. Do it moving forward so that way they can't try to use that bullshit against you.
Now, Tony Smith, I mean, your comments, I don't know what kind of comments you putting out. I don't know, but he's playing both sides right now. But anyway,
Rod,
Rod,
man, shut your fucking mouth, Rod, bro. You are, oh
What did he
man,
say?
some of these haters talking about, reporting you to the Brazilian police. There's nothing about what he said or did that broke any law. And if you think that going to a foreign country and dating women is against the fucking law, you need to grow the fuck up. And I'm just like, for real, grow the fuck up. You can go anywhere in the world and date an adult if as long as two people are consenting and you're not breaking any laws or exchanging money for sex or improving somebody's lifestyle for sex. You can go anywhere around the fucking planet you want and date foreign people. Grow the fuck up if you're in the comment section and you think otherwise, because if a man came to your country and you're a woman and people were saying the same crap about him, calling him, a sex tourist just because he was talking to you, you'd be pissed off. Grow up. We're all goddamn adults here, man. For real, y'all need to grow up.
Well, first and foremost, Austin is not a sex tourist. He's moving down. He moved down there. So the sex tourist is out of the question.
Yeah, I brought up that point too. It's not like he's a tourist. He's a local.
He's basically a local in a sense,
But, and these are things that I kept on saying, and I kept on hoping at some point, that fucking Austin would pick it up and run with those talking points, because they're strong talking points. You can't come at somebody who is, for one, a local and not exchanging money for sexual favors and call them a sex tourist. You need to take those strong points, Austin, when you see people bring them up, and run with them, bro. Defend yourself, stand your ground, stop letting people make these claims against you.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm kind of concerned about when Austin, because I saw the video you put out, and I'm concerned about the threats. Has anything come out of it? Have you reported it to police about it or anything like that?
I was told that I should report it. I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I'm gonna do. I haven't reported anything yet though, but I still have all those tweets. That's probably another reason I shouldn't have deleted the actual tweet, so I could go back and show that to the police.
Okay, because that is my concern, because you are in someone else's turf. You have to remember
That's
that.
Funny.
Yeah, you have to remember you're in someone else's turf. So I'm kind of concerned.
This dude Maximo brought up, how the same feminists, right? Because it's always the left, always the feminists, right, who defend sex work as real work, right? Mm-hmm. And it's hilarious that these women will fucking push that, but then still attack the same men, who are using those services. Mm-hmm. So there's a level of hypocrisy in all of that, mm-hmm. that it's just, it's their misandry. What they're trying to do, in my opinion, is set up men for failure. It's like, you can do it and you could be a sex tourist so long as you don't talk crap about women. But they'll support sex workers, OnlyFans workers. If you go to these countries and you talk negatively about, prostitutes, then they'll get on your ass about it. Like it's fucking lunacy.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on. There's a lot of hypocrisy and stuff like that. They want to talk about women's rights and stuff like that, but as soon as we get involved in it, we're exploiting these women and stuff like that, and we're evil and all this other stuff. But I don't know. It's
stupidity.
I'm like I said, I'm just concerned for the safety of him, and I would even also go to the State Department just to let them know. I don't know. Did you register with the what's that program? There's a program they have online with the State Department. Can't think of it. Oh yeah. When I think of it, I'll email you the link.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a program. It's a kind of a safety program. Oh, the STEP program. It's just kind of a safety program just in case something happens. So when you're traveling, even when you're traveling down to Sao Paulo, or if you get down to the Philippines or whatever, you kind of let the State Department know your travels and stuff like that, just in case something happens and stuff like that. So always use that. I use that for wherever I go on my vacations and stuff like that, knowing the time frame where I'm going to be at just in case something happens. So always link up with the State Department just in case something happens. All right.
Okay. Yeah. They said it's the STEP Yeah, the step.
Yeah, it's called the STEP program. It's on. You can go to the State Department website or the state travel.state.gov.
Okay.
Because they'll give you a lot of information, like just like when you was planning on going to Lima because of those riots and stuff. They'll give you the up-to-date information on what's going on in countries before you get there, so that way you can adjust your travel arrangements and stuff. So always be on top of that stuff.
Okay.
Bald Eagle said it's so true. They shame men who watch porn, but while uploading porn on OnlyFans, and it's funny because it's true.
Oh yeah.
It's the classic doublespeak, no matter where you go. And here's the thing, right? Is that, you know, it came out of their own mouths, right? This woman here, she said, you know, I posted a comment that said, you know, get your passport means stop wasting your time with angry, bitter feminists who hate men, to travel and find kinder women who don't hate men for simply existing, and told her to grow the fuck up, right? And her response was, haha, don't be deluded, we pretty much hate men here. And you know, this is just facts, right? This woman here, I don't know if you see that, you know, but we pretty much hate men here. So just outright admission to their misandry. And that's why I said, like, don't even listen to that bullshit. Anytime they start throwing hate, just realize that the hate coming from any feminist group, no matter where in the world, is throwing out the same bullshit shaming tactics. And they're 9 times out of 10 standing on nothing. You're not doing anything wrong. You stated your facts. You're not doing shit wrong. Just stick to your guns.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's all, I mean, that's all I can.
The gay man fucking is talking about he wants to have your baby.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that the legit? This guy is a troll, bro. You know what? I fuck with him for that because that's kind of funny.
He's funny, but I mean, I don't damn, I forgot what I was about to say. I mean, it's like I said before, it's too late to say, oh, I'm gonna stop, because it doesn't matter if I stop. I'm still in Brazil.
Right,
if I stop upload, let's say, for example, some shit was to come out of it. If I stop uploading, that's not going to stop it. So,
right.
But again, I've never talked bad about Brazilians. So they have the only leverage they have is
that's not the real gay man.
Well, the only leverage that they have is that in Brazil they don't speak English for the primary language, so they can say whatever they want and post it. I mean, the government won't do that, but these influencers will say that and know that these people that follow them don't even think for themselves, and so they'll just say, "Oh, this American, she said this American said this." But I know plenty of Brazilians that follow me that speak fluent English that know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, somebody posted the STEP website.
Yeah, that was me.
All right.
I posted on StreamYard for Austin.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Austin, to piggyback off what the brother was saying.
Go ahead.
Yeah, to piggyback off what the brother was saying, on your community page, you had wrote something about this incident, and exactly what he's saying. I had said that earlier, how it's so that people don't take what you're saying out of context or make straw man arguments. You just basically clarify, hey, I'm asking this question because this and this, and then ask the question, so people don't try to tie you up with your own words.
I also think, I get where Passport Bros comes from, right? But, it comes from the red pill community. A lot of, there's a lot of brothers who weren't red pilled before just traveling or whatnot. But all in all, we all believe the same shit, pretty damn close to it anyway. And with that, there's a lot of animosity in the way that we speak and deliver shit. But I don't necessarily think that Passport Bros needs to be like the red pill in the sense where every single piece of content needs to be about talking about women, talking about women, talking about women. You know, it could be interviewing women, but it doesn't necessarily even need to be with language that's necessarily, you know, could be perceived as, you know, red pill-ish. You know, you could ask context, you know, give context and all that about their beliefs, but, you know, just make it general content, right? You know, we see a lot of people zooming out to Thailand. You know, we see a lot of brothers out there who make content, and it doesn't need to come off as strongly for American men to get the point and to be motivated to go and travel. You know, I don't know, and maybe this is a good poll for us to take, right? You know, but I want to know in the comment, out of all the men, get ready to type, get ready to type, get ready to type. How many of y'all, you know, watch red pill content and you watch it every single day, you know, 365 a day? Or are you like me where it's like you come back for periods of time when you can deal with it, but after a while, the negativity and the constant negative talk, or, you know, not negative talk, but the constant red pill rage-ish tone of the content eventually gets to a point where you're like, I got to take a break for 2-3 months, you know, then I'll come back to it. Because I haven't been on this channel for a while, and I actually just took one of those hiatuses. So after a month and a half, now I'm back. I'm on another panel. Let me know, do you agree? Do you disagree? Comments.
I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Anybody else do that?
I pretty much just stay with just passport bro stuff.
Yeah, just 1 minute. Let me use the bathroom really quick.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to see. I'm wondering, you know, how many people get worn out from it after a while. How many people just,
But
you know,
even with the passport bro stuff, I do get worn out. You know,
Right.
especially with the tractors just coming out with lies and stuff like that. You know, especially on TikTok, because TikTok is just like that whole passport bro stuff has just gotten so toxic. It's just like you just get tired of defending yourself.
Right. And it's not, you know, I don't say that, you know, anyone should back away from that, right? Because I think it's a good way to introduce people to the manosphere or whatnot. The issue is that the red pill rage stage, a lot of men get stuck in that for a very long period of time. And versus taking action and dishing out consequences, you know, and working on themselves, and then going and just dating foreign women and living that lifestyle and using the lifestyle in this community as the catalyst for motivation for other guys to go and travel, right? Because when I do take those breaks, what I find myself doing with the passport bro stuff is that I stop watching the passport bro stuff. I start watching the digital nomad stuff of people who are traveling in the countries that I want to go to, learning about the culture, learning about how much it costs to live there, learning about other stuff that's not the negativity, but still the countries I want to be in as a consequence of all the stuff that I learned and been exposed to. How many of you guys also go and do that? Let me know in the comments. Do you guys go and watch?
I do.
Yeah, I do that myself. Yeah.
So I think, you know, there needs to be probably a better balance between that kind of conversation, the talk about women, and just Austin just going and living his life. Show the beautiful women you're around. Don't interview them. Don't speak about red pill stuff. Just go live your life. Go create vlogs. Show us what it's like to be there. Show us the femininity and action when they're taking care of you, when they're cooking, when they're cleaning your nails. You know, like, give the brothers something to aspire to, like a lifestyle video that inspires people to just go. How many of you guys agree with that in the comments? Let me know.
Hey, Austin, the stuff that I just put in the StreamYard chat, that's all for you. These links, just in case if you have any issues when you're over there. These are to the U.S. embassies. So if you got passport issues or,
you know,
that's all for you.
Scratch that. You said he doesn't make money that way, but that's not necessarily true, because the audience for travel vlogs and travel videos, especially for brothers who are going out there to date, is actually bigger than just the red pill community itself. that genre in itself has a wider audience of not just men, but also women. I know we don't want to, bring Western women around, but it's a wider audience. It's my point. You know what I mean? And so getting to a point where we could just inspire people and show them the lifestyle. Austin, I asked that question and so many people are agreeing, like, they'd love to see you just vlog in, showing what your day is like, showing, how much it costs to live there, showing different cities, showing different activity. You use the money that you get, from views and everything to go and treat yourself. Like, go get a fucking massage, show people what that's like, go do something fun over there, go-karts, show people what's that like, go find cool obscure venues and stuff and show people what all of that is like, because everybody here eventually wants to travel. How much, they hear about Brazil, but how much of Brazil are we actually seeing, so the brothers have idea of things to do once they get there?
and with that said, I have a quick question, Austin.
Go ahead.
So just like the brother was saying about showing us how what life is like overseas. I go to Bulgaria in May because of the military, but there's other professions, right? There's other careers that will give you the flexibility and the capability of traveling outside the country without being tethered to your occupation or tethered to the country of your origin. So could you explain what kind of careers or what kind of jobs that are available out there for brothers who want to travel, but need that flexibility to be able to do so? Like IT and coding. Somebody mentioned IT and coding. How difficult is that? How difficult is it for brothers to get into that? Do you need to go to a 4-year, undergraduate school or a master's? What is it that you need to get into it?
Understood.
Yeah, Zeus, sorry about that. I'm gonna let him answer that. Zeus saying, it only get views if it includes women. That's something we spoke about. But I told Austin that, and that we have a formula for that. Don't worry about that. There's always going to be women involved because we notice it as a necessary evil. But it doesn't necessarily need to be, interviewing them and asking them these kinds of questions. Them just being in the video and living their life, or, having drinks, or, being goofy, like you see, Zoom to Thailand be when he's around women. That's all that's needed. It doesn't even need to be, an interview and all that. But answer his question, bro.
Honestly, I don't know yet. I want to read a couple of these super chats. I'm gonna get back to that question. Shout out to you, Young Wolf. Keep doing your thing and continue to wake Western men up. Appreciate that super chat. They are just gonna edit your video and make you look bad. I would agree. That's more than likely. Appreciate that super chat. Keep doing your thing, my G. When I get to Brazil, hit me with a fresh fade. Absolutely. Appreciate that super chat. A question I'd like to ask the women is if marriage is important to them and why. Also, at what age do they like to get married? I'm sure most of us want wives and families, not dates. Where do I find hoes? Appreciate that super chat. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I see red pill people, I think about why not become a passport, bro. Absolutely, that's why I did it. He says, "Yo, the embassy responded to her post. I'd like to see it." Appreciate the super chat, Russ. Florida here says, "Oh my God, Austin Holloman is geeking out right now. He is doing good work." I appreciate that super chat. Okay, let me see. How else? Yeah, that's why they can't pin sex tourism on me, right? It's not all just about, oh, this is how you can go on a date with me. I've done the how I got my apartment, how to get your CPF, the dance classes. I've showed y'all a lot of stuff in El Salvador so far. It is mainly focused on women, yeah, but whatever. I know what the hell I'm doing. Let's see. Austin, what's good, family? Watching your vids, you remind me of when I was in my 20s. Men who had a manly pops figure and not bothered by delivery. Absolutely. That's absolutely me. I appreciate that super chat.
Right. If you're not worried about delivery and all that, then it's also about taking the heat.
Yeah.
And just living with it, and not deleting shit and just letting it be.
Yeah.
You know, it's really not worried. But I think majority of the people here also agree diversification in content and just showing the lifestyle of a passport, bro, and being out there. I think far outdoes, you know, unless you're coming back on podcasts and all that shit, bro. You're out there. I think the focus of the content should be about being out there. You know, and we have these conversations all the time. You know, I had to take a break for a little while, but I've been speaking to Austin the last week or two. You know, it's not about watering down Austin. It's about realizing, you know, for longevity's sake and for the sake of not getting canceled, which is Austin's breadwinner, because if he gets canceled, that means he goes back home and the fucking party's over, is diversifying the content and walking a line where you don't get canceled. Because unfortunately we could go to an era where it's like your delivery doesn't fucking matter, right? Which I think, yeah, if you want to be boisterous and you're some fucking madball millionaire, billionaire, and you can afford that because if you get canceled, it doesn't fucking matter. Austin's not in that position. So he has to walk a line to not get canceled because this is his bread and butter. Make sense? All right, let's not have that conversation again. Because it's stupid when I hear that argument. It's like, you know, he could always go back to being a barber, but I'm sure we want the guy to be creating content.
Yeah, I would agree that no, I'm not gonna ever go back to being a barber.
Yeah, fuck the apology shit. Nobody needs to apologize. Just pivot.
Well, I mean,
needs to be.
What am I apologizing for? That's
yeah,
what I never figured that out.
He ain't do shit wrong, and I'm not saying he needs to apologize. You know, just pivot. Nah, he's no. I don't think, you know, they worry about you being Andrew Tate. You need to be a lot bigger to get the Andrew Tate treatment. You know. Austin, you got a super chat.
I was reading. Okay. Appreciate this super chat right here from Falcon. We also got Austin is a travel bro Neo of Gen Z. I appreciate that. Absolutely. This dude want to argue like a broad, avoid soft clowns. I don't know what he's talking about. Appreciate that super chat. Beware of anti-travel nonsense coming from the deeps, from that and Afrocentric, as well as dating coaches. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I was aware of that.
The black pill men saying don't let Rilla deter you and all that. And it's like, I would actually argue and say don't let black pill men get you canceled and boost your head up to a point where it's like you're the thing that makes you money. You know? Yeah.
Austin, you're doing great. Of course, be open to new ideas to improve. You got 35,000 on your own. Rilla can do that on his own channel. Appreciate that super chat. I don't know what you mean. Oh, you talking about the vlog stuff? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, what he's saying, what I think Rilla's saying is, if I keep doing what I'm doing, which is basically always talking about red pill stuff and showing Brazil, then this is what comes with it. But if I diversify and put it out less, still talk about it, but let's say instead of every day, I do it twice a week, and then 5 days out of the week it's just me showing my life, then then it won't be as much. It'll be a little bit of a softer approach, but
right.
I don't know, we got to just see.
Yeah, you know, I also think that, you know, I think a lot of people don't realize is how much conversations we have on the back end and how much, you know, ideas I shoot back and forth with you and, you know, in the direction that things go sometimes, you know, so it's cool. You know, they can have that anecdotal, you know, perspective. I'm cool with that, you know, but at the same time, man, you know, it's either, there's two ways: either take the heat, be cool with the risk, and always be ready to go home, or, you know, like diversify, and that's it. That's it. You know, not pull back all the way. You can say what you got to say, but when you say, you know, there's people who in their communication style say the same thing, but don't get as much heat as Austin and have triple, quadruple, quintuple the amount of followers, and that's because they're able to deliver what they're saying in an effective way. You know what I mean? So that's my point. I don't mean pull back. I just think the delivery, you know, you got to be a little careful, and nobody's pocket watching. You know, I'm always here assisting Austin with a lot of this shit.
You know, somebody here says, who gave you the right to talk about Austin financial business? You should keep that on the back end. I don't. Well, I get what he's saying. But I mean, he didn't display nothing that I haven't. I appreciate that super chat. More Western women engage in intimacy tourism than men, but they won't talk about that. I wonder why. Absolutely, they
Like
actually.
how you said, intimacy.
Fred says a few people in the street talking about it here in Salvador. Is it men? I want to ask you: is it men or women talking about it? And if it's men, what are they saying? If it's women, it's kind of obvious, but.
Yo, Fred, why don't you come on, bro? Like, nah, for real, I want to hear about that.
Yeah, please tell us about it.
Man, these super chats piling in, huh?
Man, this motherfucker has like hella Brazilian chicks in my comments repeating the same thing. We're not for sale. Respect Brazilian women.
Who's that?
The influencer that posted it, she's like literally, it's like every 2 minutes it says it's another fucking.
Yeah.
Fucking bitch.
You know, probably the best approach is not to talk about Western women that much, you know, at all. Anyway.
Well, see, I had stopped doing that. I said, you know what I'm only gonna do. That's why I started doing the interview.
Yeah, that's the thing. And what's funny, bro, I swear to God, I'm telling you, the only reason they get that context is because you weren't able to give context. If they realized that you were painting Brazilian women in a positive light compared to Western women, saying, yo, Western women are freaking trash, or not even trash, just saying that, you know, given that context as to why you're asking the question and saying, you know, I find that Brazilian women are just easier to be around. I don't think they would have gotten offended, but, you know, the questions were very direct and one-lined, and so there was no context at all. It was just question.
You know, my question is, you know, where's all the heat for white men who've been doing it for years? I mean, they've been doing it since, I don't know, since World War II. I don't see any kind of heat for them.
Yeah, I mean, also because they're not on social media, you know, really speaking about it. So I feel like that just comes with the space, you know?
But, you know, social media gave us a platform to be able to talk to other men, you know, whereas...
Did Fred join?
Nah, I don't know what Fred's doing right now, but let me read another super chat really quick. But yeah, he said the Philippine trip, and he's right. It did. I'm pro black men, respect the brother doing business. Just let's not group all black women in a bucket. Here we go. We can win anywhere. When I get up, we'll talk. Nobody's grouping all black women, but we're not going to discuss that because I've been a broken record talking about that one. Appreciate the super chat.
So yeah, I think the social media was just a response to for black men to have a voice, to talk to other black men, saying, "Hey, there's other options out here."
Man, you see the context of this, right? Is, you know, if you saw the post and you've seen the video, is Austin's still in the process of becoming more effective in speaking in Portuguese, right? So when he did the the interview, the questions weren't, given context as to why they were being asked, and they were just questions. So from not only the viewer's perspective, the person watching the video, but potentially even from the perspective of the person being interviewed, if a feminist was watching it, of course they're going to take offense, not even knowing the context. I think all feminists who are Brazilian would be pro Brazilian women in general and not defend American feminists being given that context, and so it was really taken out of context. And so I get why they're doing their beehive mentality bullshit, but at the same time, I think that they're ignorant, and that the person who is pushing all this bullshit, who's also watching the videos on Austin's channel, is being ignorant and childish, because she's pushing a narrative, knowing and watching the videos and knowing where Austin stands on it, all of it.
And again, the people that are following her don't even think for themselves, and they don't speak English, so they're just running with what she says. Let me read a couple things. And Fred, I dropped the link a few times down here. Austin, be careful, don't get caught in the clout scheme. Appreciate the super chat.
My thing is, Austin, do you believe that somebody with 100-something thousand is gonna get you canceled? When for somebody to get canceled, it takes a lot of damage.
So we have someone right here that says, I was offended being a Brazilian woman. I would love for you to do two things. Either comment why you're offended, or come on the panel and talk about why you're offended. If you speak English. If you don't speak English, then that means you didn't understand the videos.
Right. I think, man, the context was, I could see how the context could be misconstrued, but when the context of it is frustrated foreign men who are tired of dealing with women who lack family values, with women who lack values and dating, with women who have delusional perspectives on and entitlements to what men should do for them. And then you go to a foreign country and you find that women abroad are kinder. They don't have those same delusions. They're fine with just normal dates, being taken to the beach. They're not going to run you through this ringer and make you wait, and play all these childish games to treat you right as a man. I don't know how you defend that context, and not just sipping into the ideas that one feminist pushed about Austin, because the context wasn't there at all. And I'm not faulting. I'm not going to fault Austin because his Brazilian, his Portuguese, wasn't all the way there, and so I understand why it was taken up in that way. But knowing the context, if you still get offended, that's a joke.
I mean, it seems like they were only. It seems like only Western feminists that were living in Brazil got offended. I mean, do we see a similar situation from Asia?
Here's the thing: we don't even know if they're Brazilian women who currently stay in Brazil, or if they're Brazilians who live in America, who have a platform that speaks to Brazilian women and Portuguese women. That's the thing. For all we know, these women are literally just Portuguese women in the West, hating and admitting, as they did, that they hate men. That's
also, what's the political climate in Brazil? Is it left or right?
The influencer that put it up, hold on, here's Fred. The influencer that put it up, she actually just responded to me on Instagram. And she didn't respond. All she did, I asked her. I said,
that's Fred.
I asked her, well, I didn't ask her anything, actually. I just told her what I wasn't doing and what I do promote. And she sent me a video where I said that dudes need to say that they don't travel for women. How can you come to Brazil and ignore the women? And you think that's promoting sex tourism? That's me saying that the women are great. How can you come here and ignore them? Fred, please come back on the panel. Then she put the original video that went viral. And I don't know why she would send me that because she's on live right now. Well, I'm not getting on, but that she needs to invite me on because I want it to be a fair live stream. Real men not gonna sell out their manhood for dough. I appreciate that. I'm not sure what you mean by that though, or like what you're talking about exactly. But yeah, it would be dope if she came on a panel and told me exactly what this is what's going on. But let me see.
Right. What happened to Fred? He just fell off.
Here he goes again.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on, Fred? Good to see you, bro.
Yeah. What up? So
can
y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me? My fucking internet is tripping and shit up. I was recording my video for today, and later on tonight I was still like in the streets and shit, probably like an hour or two ago, and two dudes that came up. It was two dudes and a chick, and they were just like, "Hey, you do YouTube? I seen you on this guy's channel, or whatever." And they showed me the post that I guess somebody had screenshotted the shit and showed me. It was like, "Yo, just tell dude to be careful." Pretty much, in other words, just tell him to be careful because they'll deport you for that shit. It ain't shit gonna happen to you.
Ah, shit. Hey, Fred, you lagged for a second. I don't know if you hear me, but I think that he just fell off. Nah, he's there. There he goes. He fell off. Back.
Let me just kind of follow up with that because I lived in Israel. Certain things that you say can get you deported. So you kind of got to be careful. I don't know what Brazil's laws in regards to that. That's something you may have to take a look at and research. But it's all in interpretation, basically, when it gets down to it. Oh, go ahead, Fred, please.
Better about to go, right? I'm taking a piss.
Atravessa bem, pega o Uber em Buia.
7:30.
Coach Keith, the issue is that the context wasn't there. You know, it's not that he's speaking about Brazilians or anything like that. Draft. You know, I'm sorry. What'd you say? Okay, so also, I literally think what. Bro, you're we hear what you're saying. If you need to go on mute, that's cool. You know, but Austin, so you know, what do you take on my, you know, the feedback I gave? And I want to ask Fred what he thinks too when he comes back on his thought on, like, you know, switching up the content and stuff like that. You know, I see that majority, like probably 90% of the audience was, you know, agreeing with that, you know. Well, how do you feel about it? You know, because I'm always, and you could be fucking.
I mean, I was on the way to doing that. I was on the way to doing it, especially with today's vlog. Even before I noticed this had went viral, I didn't say anything about Western women. They were just like, "Oh, you know, well, first of all, I'm gonna talk about Sao Paulo because this is my first full day in the city." So I wasn't about to be talking about anything, but I'm in a new environment. So I was going to be talking about Sao Paulo, doing the interviews. I went and videotaped them all. Yeah, it's just bullshit, man. It's actually kind of sad that there's people out there that would spread misinformation because she's.
But that's the thing, right? Is she's one of these adamant fucking activists, feminist activists who hates men. So it doesn't matter what you do as a man. If she can draw a narrative around it, that's what she's going to do because that's what she gets paid to do. Not only that, but she's a social media influencer. So if she could take anything out of context, being a feminist, they all spread misinformation. They all do the same shit. And that's when I would just completely ignore it because that's what that community of women do. And after the comment, you saw the comment that I commented on, right? Where she was like, "Don't be delusional. We pretty much hate men here." That is a testament
It's not a
you know,
meeting.
to
He's going live to explain what happened.
On YouTube or Instagram? She's still posting my videos on Instagram.
yeah, I seen it. I let her run with it. She's
Girls
just
posting
advertising. I don't think anything's really going to come of it. You know, if some people say hire a lawyer, like if you want to go for defamation, it's like cool, go for it, I guess. But you know, I don't see. Honestly, for Tate, I was saying this earlier. For Tate to have gotten canceled, his trending on Google Trends was through the roof. It was up at 100. When you're up at 100, that means the globe, the entire planet, essentially was looking up your name and wanted to know who you are. You know, it has to impact the revenue of YouTube so significantly that not only is the audience calling for you to be canceled, you know, Beehive Mind, feminist groups, but companies are also calling for you to get canceled, and not wanting their ads on YouTube to show up on your channel and saying that they're going to, you know, threaten that they're going to pull funding. So companies and, you know, all these movements and a large portion of the audience have to be calling for you to get canceled for you to actually be canceled. You know, so trying to claim that he's just going to get canceled at still under 40,000 followers, I literally think this is a little bit of a little hiccup, you know, compared to what it actually takes to get canceled.
The fact that the woman has social media, to me, is obvious that she's looking for some clout. She's starting at a lower common denominator to be able to drive her accounts up for views.
Right.
And Sao Paulo is also an area, let's be honest, it's a little bit different from the north, right?
Right. Jarvis.
So total different dynamic. It's not Salvador Bahia, so he's gonna have to deal with a lot of backlash down there. That's the Giselle Bundchen area, no offense, right?
Right. There's gonna be a backlash, right?
Yeah.
But backlash doesn't mean canceled.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially when you win.
doesn't mean your platform's going away. It doesn't mean your YouTube's getting deleted, your Twitter's getting deleted. It doesn't mean
right now,
what
actually,
cancel
right?
means.
He's winning. They found him.
Right.
They noticed him. They found him. He's winning. Good job.
Right. So let's stop with the I don't believe, like, unless your fucking account is getting deleted. You're not you weren't
the dude that asked me what was up was not with no smoke. They were just curious what happened. I'm not really necessarily worried about men, right? Because if they spoil, it's a few men in my Instagram comments, I might get the hell out of Brazil, but they're probably gay and et cetera, et cetera. But let me see. I've been telling you. Oh, but it's because the men in Brazil are not. They're more like red pill men completely here.
Oh yeah.
They think like how we think. That's why the women are. I mean, I don't know. You had to come to Brazil to see, or if you already know. But yeah, I don't see the men being a problem unless they're just feminine or soft as hell. There's not many soft men in Brazil. Now it's more in the United States. That you don't have.
I actually agree. I agree with Wolfie. You just block those people. Let them talk their shit, but you know, at least you're not seeing it on your feed. So that way they're out of sight, out of mind, and all they're doing is promoting you.
Really,
You know.
I hate to interject. What about creating a platform and letting them talk so he can continue to get his buzz and grow and maybe capture some of their audience?
Well,
right?
they're still going to have access to his YouTube because you can't just, I don't think you could just block people on YouTube or whatnot. People could just see your shit regardless, you know, and they're going to find ways to get it. But, you know, or just put it in a mode where it's like you don't see their shit in your timeline and ignore it. Because the thing is Austin also has, you know, a ton of other people who see his shit. It's just the first time who see his face because there's a combination of 1,000 people who are talking about him at any given time. You know, this is just the first time where one piece of content has gone as viral as it did. It already had 2-point-something million views, and that was like within a few hours. And you know, by the end of 24 hours, it probably would have hit 10.
It was for sure about to hit 4 million because it was at 2.3 million in 16, 17 hours. So it was going to hit at least 4 by the time 3 o'clock in the morning rolled around because that's when I posted it.
Right.
So,
And so
I could have left it up, but he was like, I ain't gonna lie, I did that. I mean,
I think, bro, you know, if anything, I feel like this is a gut check. If anything, it's like, if you want to go down the controversial route, here is only but a little taste of the controversy. Now, imagine when you already have multiple millions of followers, and that is one of those kinds of influencers that be talking about you, but there's going to be 20, 30, 100 of feminists in that scale all talking about you at once every time you post a video saying anything that could be misconstrued and negative. So that's a little bit of a gut check to say, do you want to go down this route with content and deal with the fucking fire if you're going to sit in the hot seat? And do you want to go down that route? If it is, then keep moving forward in that direction. If it's not, then, you know, you got to kind of be like, all right, maybe I got to switch it up or whatnot, because you don't want to go down that path, you know. And it really is, but though, bro, like, honestly, that's a flash in the pan of what Kevin Samuels must have been dealing with.
Well, I'll tell you this. I enjoy what I do. I really don't want to stop. But I just think that this would have been a lot better coming from an American woman than a Brazil, because this is unexpected. I'm like, a Brazil. I want somebody to find a timestamp and a link on when I said anything bad about Brazilian women, because all American women said for the past 6 months was you pedestalize them. So for them to say that I'm calling them prostitutes and
Austin Holloman, man. Yeah, I definitely agree with Rilla, and we talked on the back channel. You know, it's like, you know,
that's what I was doing. That's what I was starting to do, though.
If I were you, Austin, right now, since we live in a cancel culture, if I were you, this is what I would do. I would delete all those bashing American women videos and start focusing more on the travel content.
I think he should you know, do more travel content and diversify, but I don't think he should necessarily stop, you know, speaking his thoughts and his beliefs or whatnot. I just think, you know, instead of doing that and regurgitating it, it does get old after a while. Just diversify it and do that less, because he's still a passport bro. He still brands that and still encourages it, you know. But we need to get to a place where it's like, we're not just always speaking about Western women or Black women and constantly going down this path of, it almost sounds red pill rage-ish. You know, you could say what you can say what you have to say about Western women without being ultra vulgar. I think Zoom to Thailand does a good job. I think the Black Filipino does a good job at that. I think, you know, there's a lot of brothers in the space who do a good job at that, right? At communicating what they have to say about Western women without just getting brutally offensive. You know, Austin's style is to get the comedic value out of it, and so his style usually with that is just really brash and harsh. But in this context, he wasn't even doing that. He was just asking Brazilian women questions about, you know, their beliefs and their values, but there just wasn't enough context because his, you know, English or his Portuguese is limited and he couldn't speak in very long sentences to give that context. And I think, Austin, is that not what happened? Or like, why did you go down the path of, you know, like just asking the question after question after question without the context?
Well, I mean, off camera, I told all the women, hey, I have a YouTube channel. I'm studying Brazilian culture and I'm comparing. I even said directly, comparing the culture to my culture in the United States.
I think that always needs to be, you know, and that's a form of confirmation bias, because, you know, if they don't have the context, then the context is literally just implied by the bias of the viewer. Did any of what I just said make sense? So if a feminist is a feminist, the bias, her personal bias is confirmed without the context, and she's going to assume that you hate women or hate Brazilian women or that you're a sex tourist because the context wasn't given.
But you know, this is also for educational purposes too. Because I learned
it might be educational purposes, and that's great, but nobody knows what they're being educated on. So the viewer always has to
Mhm.
be educated and given the context. You can't just create content on YouTube, not give context as to what you're doing and painting the story and the narrative and why you're asking certain questions. And, you know, for us as Passport Bros, it's implied we know why these questions are being asked, right? But for the people who are outside of the Passport Bros and don't know what this community is all about and what we're preaching, the feminists are going to get one view of it. Even if they're Brazilian feminists, some are going to get offended anyway. But some might be like, well, shit, he likes Brazilian women. I might be a feminist, but I'm not going to get mad because at least he's speaking in favor of Brazilian women. You know what I mean? So I feel like the context is always important. Drawing the context, and like if
Context.
you record, he said it on video, but the edit didn't include why he was asking those questions. And I'm assuming it's
Maybe
probably
per-
because of time restraints and stuff like that.
Maybe perhaps a disclaimer at the beginning of the video, like something written, kind of like there's this guy. He has a YouTube channel. He asks questions to Palestinians and Israelis, highly, I guess you could say provoking content based on the questions. But at least the disclaimer allows him to ask these questions without him getting flagged or anything like that. So maybe that's a way around it. Even if the questions, is not as clear because of the language barrier, people still have the context of saying he's just, he's trying to educate his audience. So that's a good way, a good workaround with the fair use. It's a good workaround around, trolls and feminists and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awesome, man. It's just, let me tell you this, man. You have unlimited content because you live there, right? It's not like you one of us like that travels like twice a year, once a year, So you have unlimited amount of content. If I were you, what I would have done is like I would produce check and effect kind of content. You go into the hood of Brazil, Kurt Cass too, like a lot of those kind of content, like and you get better return when you do that too. It's like now the algorithm is going to promote you and all that. Because you got to realize Ace Live, when he first started off YouTube, he started off as a manga channel, right? But then he started catching flack for that. So he had to transition over to a travel channel, So that's when he blew up. Like he just blew up. So, just get that travel kind of content. We want to see, the environment, the culture, the food.
Yeah,
obviously,
I think
obviously we want to see the women, but you got to include the whole package,
Yeah, I agree with that, man, because bro, it's Passport Bros. We want to see. I don't necessarily agree with the not including women part, though. I think
whenever you finish that, let me read.
No.
Yeah, let him.
No. You mistaken me. I said include the women aspect of it, but don't make it just the whole focus of it. So you got to diversify, as you said in your earlier statement.
Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead with the comments, bro.
Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna read a couple of these. Then I'm gonna wrap it up after this because this is going. But this is defamation of character. What she's doing for sure, like 100%, like 100%. How are you gonna stop me? I don't know what he's talking about. Colombia. Austin, stop playing with Brazil and go to the Philippines like Angel City. It's all love. They don't deserve the attention. Appreciate that super chat. We'll be in the Philippines in days. Richie Mack. Good work. You're making history. Don't let the haters stop your message. They probably paid somebody to put that negative propaganda out there that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. Appreciate the super chat. Keep doing your thing, fam. Real manly men. Real manly men support real man talk and real man ish. Too many ways to make dough nowadays to be muted by the week. Later. Appreciate the super chat. Bro, this is just par for the course. Brazil has been fun. It's time to spread out. If you're in Europe this summer, check-in is going down. I should be there for my birthday in May. Appreciate that super chat. And you guys seen I am getting outside of it. I was going to go to a different country every month. But Floyd says, hey, bro, let's start a new topic. Don't let them get to you. And that's exactly what I was getting at. Appreciate that super chat. But yeah,
I wanted to.
Hey,
What's
Austin,
going
real
on?
quick. Hey, what's up, bro? One sec. Austin, read my text I sent you. It's been a while for that. You got to be real. But go ahead, man.
yeah, you're
Hey,
right.
what's going
you're
on?
right.
Good evening, you guys. What's going on? What's up? So my thing is, I did come in a little bit later, but I can somewhat put two and two together. Somebody wrote an article about you. I'm assuming.
They might as well wrote an article, but they put out three. They put out three. Well, they have
Videos?
a following. They have 120,000 followers, so they have enough of a following to get some traction on me of shit talk. And they put out three. What they're doing is, like I said, I've said this before. They know that their base does not speak English, so they're using that to their advantage, and they're bringing it to their platform and saying whatever the fuck they want. And they know that people are sheep, and they're just gonna run with that. And they don't speak the language, so they're just gonna run with that.
These
So
are.
people.
I was gonna ask. These are videos of social media articles.
No, these are screenshots and videos. Let me see. I was that damn happy out here. But they are coming to my page saying, "Oh, you're calling women in Brazil prostitutes." I'm like, I've been pedestalizing Brazilian women since June.
You gotta understand and you know the irony about it. Out of all people, wasn't it our detractors that were calling these women prostitutes and dirty feet and all this kind of scandalous stuff?
But this is what you get from feminists, no matter where they are, outside of the country and even in their own country. They hate men so much that they will say things about men that insinuate certain things about their own women, knowing damn well that what they said isn't true, you know. So her insinuating that, you know, he's a sex tourist because he's dating women outside of his own country, you know, it's insinuating that the woman he was speaking to in that moment is a prostitute, because the definition of sex tourism is paying for sex. It's paying for sex and, you know, offering lifestyle favors in exchange for sex. You know, it's like two consenting adults, no matter where in the world you go, can consent to date one another. You know what I mean? So their definition and what they're trying to insinuate and trying to call this sex tourism to shame someone just because he asked some divisive questions, you know, it's bullshit.
Yeah, my advice was to maybe perhaps it's not even to market yourself better, because all right,
it was just in the communication of the content. It was just in the communication of the content that created the issue. There was no context given as to why he was asking those questions, and because they were a little lewd and divisive, they took it out of context because they need somebody. They need anybody.
Yeah.
You know, these are feminists who hate men. They need anybody to shame and push their agenda.
I agree. I was going to say this too. What Austin is doing is no different from these dudes that go in the mall and ask women random questions or try to get pickup dates. We see the dude, Austin Dunham, the other dating coach dudes, like the dude, the lifting weights stuff. They'll go into the mall and ask women all these kind of, you know, different questions, or they'll talk to a couple and try to catch them off guard with foolishness or what have you. My thing is this. I would say there's two things when it comes to people slandering. When whoever consumes the slander material, it's going to be two types of people. It's going to be one that are people that are going to look into doing their research, and then there are two that is going to take it at face value. We always hear about that, people saying, "Oh, they didn't know about Andrew Tate until they were like, they always thought they hated him until they watched one of his videos, and then they realized, like, oh, they like the guy." I've heard several women say that. I've heard several women say that about Kevin. So what I would say is probably the only solution to this is just honestly, one, keep doing what you're doing, and then two, you would definitely have to hit hard with the interviews with the woman, because it comes across as more personable. I'm just gonna say this though, overall, you're probably you're the Andrew Tate of like south and below the equator right now, because you kind of got that. They're trying to put the target on your back, and then the funny thing is, a lot more people know about you than what they're putting on. and they're watching from the clouds, but they're not saying anything because they can't get at you, right? You have a lot of stuff going on. You got your money put together. You got you're young and what have you. You're charismatic. People can't really come at you. Oh, you're lame. This, that, and the third. Oh, you're on the spectrum. Oh, he's kind of incel. It's like no. So they have to find something vicious and slanderous to be able to get at you. Right, but you just got to keep doing your thing. They're really trying to knock you off the square.
Real in Austin, this is an opportunity, in my opinion. If these girls, whoever's going at them, if he can get in contact with them and set up some type of interview, especially if it looks like you guys are segmented together and trying to grow, helping brothers, why not do that interview? Get the buzz, do the interview.
It's up to Austin whether or not he wants.
I think you get the interview and you roll this thing up. It'll drive to his channel. He's definitely put the Brazilian woman in a positive light, no doubt about it. He has too many good videos on Brazilian women, no doubt about it. So it's going to switch up the frame and just say, hey, U.S. is going through things with the laws, right? The laws are killing us with the woman and the divorce and 50% divorce rate, all that stuff. I agree.
I think there's potential there, but then again, it also comes down to Austin and how much he could stomach on that front, whether or not that virality is going to be something he even wants to deal with.
Is he solo out there? Is he solo or two? You need to be at least two deep out there. I don't want you out there solo now, because there's always going to be some guys, some simp, some woman, who's going to try to approach you, especially if you solo. But if
I agree. Somebody said you need to control the narrative now.
Yeah,
and I agree with that. If you reach out, like, okay, I'll bring you on my channel and we can have a conversation. You know what I mean? Or as to be on her channel and have a conversation. It's completely up to you, if you want to go down that route. But also for the reason I say that for the reason that I just sent you a text, that I think it's interesting how that's a fact about how, these live stream works. And I won't get too much into that.
I want to also say this too.
Austin, do you hear my last part, what I said there?
Say that last sentence again. I heard it a little bit.
I was saying, not only for controlling the narrative, but also because of, what I sent you over text. I think that might be a good idea because, for some reason, they eat that up.
I want to say this too. You got to realize too, we had Kevin is Gen X. You got Andrew Tate, older millennial, and then you got you, Austin. You got to understand, we've been this space, the manosphere in of itself and men's movement. We really kicking feminists in the face, like feminism in the as a whole, like Mike Tyson. Like they've been taking a lot of body blows, right, in the last 5 to 6, 7 years. So they're out for blood. It's like, and then on top of that, they already see a lot of men are. Prior to you blowing up, Austin, we already saw that men were exiting out of society. So you're gonna be that nail in the coffin. If already men are just bailing out of society, they can't have men not only the men that are gonna stay here not engaged, and then the men that are potential to be another cord into the machine. They can't have them leave the country like that. They said, I forgot, Average Man Unplugged said that the amount of passport applications went up last year, and you can't tell me that doesn't have in America that doesn't have any significance from the movement that we're doing, and it's probably going to double this year, right? So you just got to keep doing what you're doing, but you do gotta have your head on a swivel. You got to realize, like, they are out for blood because they're taking too many L's.
Yeah, Austin. So look, let me interject for a second, Austin. If you had the Andrew Tate money, you can say whatever the hell you want. As Thriller said, but you also Holloman. You kind of depend on YouTube, sort of. You kind of depend on YouTube. So you gotta change the tone. A lot less bashing the Matrix women. I mean, you're already out of the Matrix, so just focus on Brazil. What Brazil has to offer. Focus on other parts of the world. We want to see more content. We want to see shit from Romania. Israel, all these other countries that there are hidden gem. It's like if you keep doing that, then you're gonna blow up. Then you like when I was in Peru, I had the best time of my life, but I wasn't even focused on Matrix women. That was out of my mind, until I got back in the Matrix. Now I was focused more on a Matrix woman. Once you go outside the states, your focus should be out of Matrix women. No focus on them. Do not talk about them. Just move on.
All right. So Austin, what do you think about opening up that dialogue? Or you even feel like you even care to bother with it?
I mean, I've already answered this question 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, did I miss it?
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't know why we keep going back to that.
I want to say this.
He's answered this question already a few times since I've been on here.
I don't think you should change. I think you just more so have more nuance. So, for example, you know how sometimes you'll have videos like you don't have to go say word for word like, yeah, these American women ain't hitting on nothing. Just show. You could do a clip of showing like, you know, when they do the thing of like, who would you rather choose? Drug dealer, 9-to-5 guy, or scammer, and then immediately right after, just show a comparison of the woman you're talking to. You know, just say something without it being said. I think our agenda should still to be like, hey, these women, even if you're not gonna go overseas, find some other solution, because we need to wake brothers up. We can't just be lenient and say, oh, you know, this is an opportunity. We like, no. The women here are not conducive to a family unit, and here is a representation of why. Show video, and then immediately afterwards show a comparison of you talking to a woman from another country. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say nothing without proving a point. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So he's just basically letting your actions speak, man. You over there. We want to see more content. Like I'm like some of us are just tired of hearing about the same. We know how the Matrix women are.
Buck Travel, we've been talking about that same thing for almost 2 hours now.
Yeah,
I get that. I know you weren't here probably the whole time, but
my bad. I just came in. I just came in 15 minutes ago.
Because we've already said, oh, just record it, rocks and shit, and stop talking about women. I've heard that shit 10 times.
Oh, okay. So, also, what happened to your Peru trip? You canceled it?
I was supposed to be in Peru right now, but I had a lot of people advising me to not go.
The political bullshit happening over there, and the way they canceled flights for Americans, and Americans couldn't leave the country. Like,
I just came back from that last week.
I just came back too. I just came back. Hold on.
Yeah. There was a lot of things there for a little while. So it was. Hold on.
Stuff from the local media. I hear stuff from the Western media.
All right, cool.
Look, I was there. Right. I was there. It was, bro. Lima was peaceful. It was those outer cities in the outer country, like in the countryside, where they were shutting down the airport. You know, but Lima, everything was locked. That's where the money is at. So of course, that's the military is gonna guard all that shit. So Lima was cool, and you can the other brother can interject who also been in Peru. He's saying the same thing too.
All right, we get that. A choice was made.
I mean, I was in the same shoes in Austin.
All right. Yeah, we get that. We get that, but a choice was made. You know,
a choice.
That's all I can say.
A choice.
So Austin, you headed to other parts of Brazil or what?
Just a choice was made, man. You know, like at the time, because
Austin, let me ask Austin, bro. Austin, you going to other parts of Brazil or what?
Yeah, like I said, we've been talking about this for 2 hours. I put a list of countries out a week or two ago that I'm going to, and I'm about to go to another one in a few days. I got that message. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I got to get out of. I mean, back in August or June or July. I mean, I think I said that I told everybody I was going to travel the whole world and date women across the world and show y'all what it was like. So I probably been in Brazil for 3 months almost. Yes, but I didn't have plans on not doing what I said. But
I got a question for Rilla, man. Rilla, I got a question for you, bro.
I'm tired of hearing about that.
Rilla, I got a question for you. So have you been outside the Matrix?
I traveled in the military, went to Qatar, but haven't been abroad anywhere else outside of Mexico for a week when I was young, and Canada. So and those were for like, I don't call them trips because, you know, at that time I was a musician, like traveling in bands, so I wasn't really like experiencing the culture or anything like that. It was just in the city and I have to leave, you know what I mean? So
do you plan to travel in the future, like in the near future?
I'm going all like, I'm in the process of grabbing a contract job as a software engineer, and I'm going to be traveling everywhere, you know. So why do you ask that question?
No, I'm just asking, just general question, because I just want to get a feel for what everybody been, where they've been, you know, like trying to see if I can ask certain questions to other people, because I'm curious about certain countries, so I just want to see what other folks are saying about it.
Right. Hey, if you don't travel, it doesn't mean that you can't chime into the conversation. No, I don't understand. I'm not speaking about you. I'm speaking about the comment section right now. You know, let me address that.
You gotta ignore those trolls, man. You gotta ignore the trolls.
Right. Also, sign up for that STEP program yourself. You know, since you're going to be doing some contracting work as well.
Well, I'll speak to you on the side so I could get some information about STEP. But yeah, if if people aren't necessarily traveling, you don't have to be there to learn a lot of information without being boots on ground. You know, in fact, the military, you know, if you served in the military, you know, being a 35 mic, most of the intel you gather on a location isn't by being, no, I wasn't intel. But you know, I worked with intel. So
no, because
you don't have to, oh, you were intel. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
You see? I gotta go. No, let me stop. Freaking intel people, man. They're different. But you know, you don't really have to be out there to know damn near a lot of things. Anyone who's been on here who hears you know, my take on certain things, who has traveled, always ask me if I go, because a lot of the information I give is very accurate. Let's be real.
Hey, Austin, appreciate your work here, man. You're building this encyclopedia that I'll pay for once you get it together. I think that's the goal here, right? You can start doing some consulting, get that book. Really like the work.
Listen,
and I got a channel. I'm gonna drop off here. Really appreciate you and all the other brothers. Keep striving, keep pushing up, brother. Big up.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Handler.
I don't know where the dog is approaching from. I'm nobody's handler. Austin's his own man. I've been here since day one. Since the day Austin popped off, I've been here since day one, you know, and been helping them grow, you know, been giving them a lot of my, you know, opinions, advice, etc., you know, wisdom, so to speak. You know, I've been in the social media game, and I help a lot of artists achieve certain things. So that's where, you know, my involvement goes. But I'm nobody's handler. Drop that. All right, man.
Let's let me read a couple with his super chat really quick. And Ronnie says, always odd to be me, people giving their 2 cents, but the majority still don't support Austin anyway to stay traveling. I appreciate that. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I don't know. He's not talking about Rilla, but I know what he's talking about. I appreciate that. But this is the only thing about it is, you know, it depends if there's danger or not. But I'm ready to get off the topic because we're pretty much saying the same shit in a circle now. Yeah, it's just.
Austin, have you covered Israel? I know you said you had one of that as one of your lists. Are you going there? And if so, what made you decide on Israel out of the other countries?
I just plan to go everywhere. I just looked on the map and picked a place, literally.
Okay.
But
hey, Rilla,
let me tell you this: Israeli women, based on the Israeli women I met in Montreal, because there's a large Israelis in Montreal, Canada, right? They are super fine. However, they got that feminist, toxic masculinity in there behind them. It's super. When you look at them, they got that pitch black hair, they beautiful, but it's like they got that, that Western toxic mentality. So just be aware of them, at least based on the ones I met in Montreal, Canada. They might be different back home.
Hey, Austin, we might need to issue, an update to some statements we said to what was the Portuguese guy that used to be in here? Remember the dude that's from Portugal who used to be in here that goes on all these other panels? Fatty. About we might need to issue a statement out to Fatty about Brazilian feminism.
Oh, Fatty was his name.
Yeah, because he spoke about feminists and feminists out there. I think you just got a taste of that.
Hey, Rilla, before I hop off, just wanted to ask you if you can address the question about the IT or coding or some type of career or profession that allow you the flexibility to travel in these countries.
I would say this, man. If you're trying to find a job or a skill set that you're trying to get that's going to allow you to travel, man, just go online, get on YouTube, and dead ass, like, just search how to get into IT, or roadmap to get into IT, or roadmap to become a web developer. There's going to be a lot of people with a lot of opinions on that probably have better knowledge than I do. I could give you the roadmap for coding and the roadmap that I took, but that's really all I can provide. As far as IT, that's not my thing. In the Discord group, there's other people who are IT professionals who can tell you more about IT than I can, and cybersecurity. That's really all I can say about that, bro. Sorry.
It's okay. I appreciate you. I was actually asking in general. I was using IT and coding kind of in a lot thing. So you said coding. What would your advice be for that?
Learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then get into React, learn Next.js, learn Node.js with some sort of type ORM, and then get into data structures, algorithms for interviewing. Go research general questions about the interview process for coding jobs, and build a few projects, a portfolio, and do your resume and start speaking to recruiters. Watch that back, for information, I guess.
I was gonna say that's one route. I'm doing database development, and that's dealing with SQL, like subquery language. You could take that route. There's also cloud softwares, cloud security with AWS. That's, to me, honestly, I think that's more. There's a heavy need in that, and I think that's probably one of the easiest ways to get, not necessarily easiest ways to get in, but it's not as complicated as maybe other stuff. Because I think when he talks about HTML, that's more so like a lot of the full stack
web development, full stack development.
Yeah.
Let me read this PayPal really quick, and then let me get over here because I don't give a fuck about this shit.
I hear that.
I'm just sitting here at this point. So let me see. I can't even find it now. The chick is probably a U.S. Matrix Brazilian, a watered down version Brazilian that calls herself taking offense. She don't count if she is not currently out there in Brazil. As far as we know, these could be grown at. Okay, I appreciate that super chat, but as far as everybody saying that these are not women and men, that's just not true. It's too deep at this point. Like, there's too many. This chick I know in Brazil, in Salvador, she actually just told me like a very, very, very famous actress in Brazil was commenting on the shit now. So it honestly, yeah, I don't even give a fuck if it's a woman or man or not. But I mean, everybody knows her name. I'm ready to get over here because we didn't already talked about it. I already put out a video talking about what my content is about. I'll just talk on the back end.
Yeah, bro, I'm gonna shoot you a call. Or are you gonna stay on after?
No, you can call me.
All right.
Let it go though. I appreciate y'all coming through. Everybody that supported.
Hey Austin, when you're planning your trip to Israel, give me a holler. I'll give you some tips because I lived there for 3 years.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll reach out to you and
real quick to the OG chat gang. It's good seeing y'all. For all the people who never seen me asking who the fuck is Rilla, nigga, I've been on here since day one. I gotta talk my shit, Austin, because these niggas are pissing me off, bro. They don't know I've been gone too long, and you got another 15,000 people that don't know me. No, it's all good. I don't need to be known. But shout outs to the OG chat.
Amen to that.
It's good seeing you guys.
No, the better. It's best to keep a low profile, especially during these times. Just move in silence, right?
Yeah. All right, bro. I got to get off here. I'll shoot you a
guys
call
later.
Yeah, give me a holler sometime.
Likewise. I'll see you guys. Peace.
I appreciate y'all. I can holler at me in the Discord, but I don't feel like being on this live no more. All right.
Later.
Later, guys.